to the Lion Nation podcast, brought to you by SHN Sports. Tonight's commentators are Chuck Kracy, Mark Sickles, and Gary Gutierrez. It's game time! Game time!
I want to welcome everyone to the field here in Pflugerville as the Leander Lions kick off their 2018 season on the road against the Weiss Wolves here at the field. I'm here with Rich Hensley, Gary Gutierrez, and Mark Sickles as we look forward to kicking this season off, hopefully with a win for the Lions. That would put them in a multi-game win streak, having finished the season last season with a win over the Linemen Lobos. The Weiss Wolves are 8-2. This is their first year to play varsity football. They're going to be a 5A school, and they played an acclimating schedule last year where they finished 8-2. An acclimating schedule is when you play both varsity and junior varsity teams. So, you know, they're a pretty good team. They have athletes. They draw from the Hendrickson neighborhoods. Some names to look out for, and I don't have the numbers here on my notes, is Stuart Miller at wide receiver for the Wolves, and you got Jackson Sandlin at quarterback, and Jaden Askew is kind of a big running back for the Wolves. And they're coached by Coach Altman. Leander, of course, comes in changing their offense this season. We won't spend a whole lot of time talking about it here as we still want to see exactly what it's going to be. It's going to be some type of veer. We know that, but we don't know how much they're going to throw, and we don't my understanding they're going to be under center about 90%, and there come your Lions here onto the field. I got to quit saying that. It's just a field, right?
It's just the field.
Right. It's just the P is silent. It's the joke is worn thin. So
the PF is a town branding.
Okay. Well, and according to the Two Deep roster, we are going to have Rashad Carter at quarterback. Number 5, he's a senior quarterback. Been playing on and off on the varsity since he was a sophomore. Had some injuries in the past season. We have at tight end, senior number 46, Michael Potter. Also will be spending some time on the defensive line, so it looks like he's going to get a nod both ways. The O-line consists of senior, second-team All-District last year at guard, the center, Eric Locust, number 56. We got Matai Carter at left guard, and Brian Puckett at left tackle, number 71. He's a senior. At right guard, Riley Wells, the former fullback, moved to the offensive line, and he brings a load. And he is about 5'10", and about 250, 260 of just power. So I'd like to see him pull a little bit. And then over on the right tackle, we have Noah Holofield, sophomore offensive tackle. And we have the national anthem. We'll do that now. And I'll just jump right back into the offensive roster. The wings in the new veer are going to be Addison LaRue, senior, at number 34, and Matthew McDaniel, number 35. Xavier Dotson will be starting at the fullback position. And then the receivers are going to be Ishmael Sanchez, number 17, a senior. Keon Leonard, number 88, a junior, will also be on the field as a starting receiver. And the kicker, both punter and place kicker, is Eli Gaiman. That is your Lion offense. The Lions starting defense is going to include Michael Potter is going to play defensive tackle. Diego Costa is going to play nose, and Matthew Wakama is in. Let's see. Captains for the Lions are going to be number 6, Titus Dawkins, number 2, A.J. Nelson, and number 5, Rashad Carter. For the Weiss Wolves, we've got number 44, and that's going to be Zach Lenz. Number 6, Jaden Askew, that's the running back I mentioned earlier. 12, Jackson Sandlin, the quarterback, and number 3, Ronald Caldwell. Back to the Lion defense. The 2 subs on the D-line are going to be Major Maiden and Connor Kracy, 2 sophomore defensive linemen. We'll see how they do if they get on the field tonight. Linebackers going to include number 32, Kavon Spence, returning with several tackles from last season, 44, Evan Smith. He'll be the primary tackler for the Lions. Dyron Dixon, a sophomore linebacker, quite an athlete. You'll see some impressive plays from Dyron. And then Henry Birmingham played a little D-line last year, dropped his number down to 10. He's a linebacker now. Hoff and Weingart will be the subs there. Safeties are going to be Dimitri Drayton, number 7, and sophomore Ray Egglesey, number 16. Substitute will be Arturo Paisana, number 14. Your corners are going to be Xavier Terry, number 21, and Anthony Nelson, number 2, with Titus Dawkins being the primary substitute for Leander. And the coin toss is going on right now at midfield. We're a little less than 2 minutes away from kicking off the 2018 campaign. And there's not a greater feeling than right before the season begins. And, well, of course, if you win the state championship, it's probably greater. But yeah. When you're 0-0 and you know you're ready for a W. And there's no blemishes on your mark. And we'll see what happens here.
It's a new season.
Coin has been flipped. Leander will be receiving the ball to open the first half. I'm not sure. I guess that is going to be north.
Yes. On
the north end of the stadium. Stadium, of course, shared by the Pflugerville Panthers, who the Lions play next week at AC Bible. Also, Pflugerville Conley plays here in 5A division. Another district opponent of Leander's, Hendrickson, plays their home games in this stadium sometimes. They also have a stadium near their school as well, and then the Weiss Wolves calling the field home.
Yeah, I had some emotional breakdown driving over here, knowing that I wasn't going to be in the hot box across the street.
I was not upset at all.
I count on losing those 15 pounds so I can gain it back during the holidays, and I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what I'm going to do this year. You're going to have to find a sauna at the club because that air-conditionless, windowless box that they put the visitor radio broadcast crew in was it was enough to kill some electronic devices with the sweat.
And some brain cells, I think.
Yeah, probably. And so let's see who we have kicking off. You know, it's going to be tough with these Wolves with the black jerseys and pants and the maroon numbers, but it's going to be number 54 kicking off. That's Jack Weiss. Might be Bizey, but it's
well, we got a new season. Kicker. We got new players, new offense. Let's go.
Yeah, everything's new, clean slate. Let's see what the Lions can do and how they'll start the 2018 season. They're going to get an opportunity with the ball here, so we'll see what the kicker, Bice, can do.
Well, there is a new rule that went underway this year for the fair catch, which we'll talk about here in a second.
LaRue back deep for the Lions along with number 21, Xavier Dotson, the fullback. Dotson running 4.6 40. It's a short kick to the up back. number 17 for Leander, and that's Ishmael Sanchez. I knew that. He's going to be our primary receiver this year. Kind of lost his name there for a second, but Sanchez runs it up to the 40-yard line, looks like, where it'll be a first down for Leander. And you'll get a good look here at the Lions' new-look offense. It's an old look. You may have seen it before. It's a modified veer. And I may not be using the same terminology Coach uses, but, I'm old enough that we used to run this offense. Straight ahead to Dotson. Middle linebacker picks him up after a gain of about 3. It's going to be number 55 on the tackle.
Well, when you go back to looking at the last winning seasons Leander had was back in 2012, and since then they've pretty much gotten rid of this style of offense.
Carter under center for the Lions, takes a snap, steps back, moves forward off left tackle, spins his way for a first down, up over the 50 to the 46 of the Wolves. They're on the stop, number 5 for Weiss. That's Dwayne Sosa. And so it's a first down Leander in Weiss Wolf territory here. And, this is one of the things that I think is advantageous of the offense. You possess the ball more, your defense doesn't get tired, and you just grind it, and get that clock short and that game up. Straight ahead to the fullback, Dotson. He picks up 3, and that's the other thing. 3 yards is a fantastic play in this offense.
Absolutely.
In the spreads, not so much.
And going back to what I was saying, the last winning ways of Leander, a lot of it, Coach Smith, he's been able to produce a lot of offense, a lot of big yardage, but it didn't get the wins. And when you look back at the last winning seasons, they were running the ball pretty effectively. And
you got to have a good defense, and that'll be tested tonight as the Weiss Wolves, as we said, 8-2 in their acclimating schedule last season. Pitch to Dotson on the left side. He cuts up near the 40 before he's tackled.
Yeah, now you got a manageable threat
by number 6, Jaden Askew. Yeah, and it's 3rd and short, 3rd and 4. That is a makeable. And on this side of the 50, you have 2 plays, really. And the Lions have a kicker. We get another 8-10 yards. Gaiman can make those field goals. He hit one from 42 in the scrimmage versus Eastview. And they go straight ahead to Dotson for the first down, right behind the right guard for the Lions. That's going to be Matai Carter with a nice hole along with the center. Locust opening it up for Leander.
When you get the opportunity here, when you can run the ball effectively in this offense, get your first downs, this eventually puts the wear and tear on the opposite team.
I can tell you the D-line is already putting their hands on their hips, and it's early. Carter under center, takes the snap, moves to the left, has to pick up some blocks as the Wolves get some pressure, but he gets around the edge and picks up a yard or 2 before stepping out of bounds on the Lion side of the field.
Yeah, that's pure speed by Rashad.
He's definitely got a step on a lot of players. It's a 2-yard gain for Carter and what probably should have been a loss of 4 or 5. And that's one of the drawbacks of the offense is you can't afford to put yourself in too big of a hole, whether through pre-snap fouls or fumbles or, tackles for loss, like almost happened on that play. Carter able to save the play. He's under center now. Got a little bit of an I formation, handed to Dotson straight ahead. He stood up, and he spins over for a gain of about 2 more. So it's going to be 3rd and about 6. And we'll see if Coach Smith tries to open it up here. He knows he has a weapon in the kicker, junior Eli Gaiman, number 18.
Well, you go look at any level of football. Running the ball effectively wins championships, gets you to the championship, and defense. And
that's how you win games. The stiffer the competition, the shorter you need to make that game because you need to be able to make the plays. And if you don't have the depth that some of the teams you play do, then there are some things you're going to have to do, and shortening the game is one of those. Carter keeps it off the left side there. Neglects to pitch and picks up about 2, maybe 2.5 yards. They're going to put him inside the 25 just inside the 25. It's going to bring up 4th and 3, 3.5. It's going to be an interesting call here for Coach Smith. Does he have something in his pocketbook? Is he going to try to draw him off sides here? What do you think, Gary?
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to try to draw him off sides.
Hard count. Let's see. Carter under center. They're in the wing. Double wing. Carter. Doesn't look like the Wolves are going to jump, and the Lions call timeout as they did attempt to draw them off sides. And I bet you Coach Smith goes with the field goal attempt here to get an early lead. You certainly don't want to waste this drive. You've shown that you can move the ball here against the Wolves early, and so points are something that you want to come away with here. You don't want to be disappointed with no points. That's what I would do. We'll see what Coach Smith has.
In a non-conference game too, this is the time where you give the kicker the opportunity to try his leg out and see what he can do and see how he handles the pressure. And I think that's hopefully they come out with the kicker and give him that chance.
Yeah, the kicker can win and lose games for you, and it does affect the way you play defense and offense at times, depending on how good of a kicker you have or how good the opponent's kicker is. You may gamble a little more to keep them from getting in field goal range if they have a good kicker. And we'll see what Coach Smith does here. Looks like he's going to go for it here on 4th down. Riverboat gambler time. Carter under center after the timeout. 4th down and 4. Takes the snap. Pitches on the end around to Addison LaRue. He cuts up at the 25 up to about the 23. He's going to be short of the first down. There on the stop, number 20, Curtis Meeks. And the Wolves will take over, and the Lions leave a field goal on the field there, I think. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Weiss. They'll take over at the 24-yard line, their own 24. And we'll see what Weiss can do offensively against this Lion defense. So the quarterback, number 12, Jackson Sandlin, he's got to Askew in the backfield behind him. Takes the snap, pitches to Askew going right. He cuts up, and he's tackled in the backfield by number 32 for Leander, Kevon Spence, the linebacker, senior linebacker. He comes up, makes a play at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, those linebackers have some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, Hensley's out playing at Lewis and Clark in Oregon. So the Lions looking for that replacement, likely going to be Evan Smith. But you want guys for years to come. Smith, the senior, pass in the flat, complete to number 14, Brian McLaren. On the stop, number 44 for the Lions, Evan Smith, along with number 58. And that's the sophomore linebacker, Dyron Dixon. So it's 3rd down and 9 now for the Wolves. The Lions defense looking pretty good here early. Wolf offense lines up. There's a snap. Roll to the left, and pass is incomplete. A little bit behind the receiver, intended for number 4, Stuart Miller.
So while we're waiting for this 4th down, the fair catch play that's in the new rule is that on kickoffs, if you fair catch inside the 25, the ball goes to the 25. So it's basically to eliminate some injuries.
So here's the punt here from the Wolves. I didn't catch the number of the punter.
Looks like number 10.
10 or 18, and it looks like he's got a decent punt off. 10 is Reed Ryland. 18 would be Dylan Kaufman. And the Lions don't even try to field it, and it's down by the Wolves at the Leander 36. And so the Lions able to stop the Wolves from even converting a first down, and they get the ball back, but much further back than they had left it as the last series ended. We'll take a moment to take a quick break. You're listening to Leander Lions football. Nope, it looks like we're going to get going here. You know, that they're supposed to slow the offense down, but when you open a possession, sometimes you just come out pretty quick. So let's see what happens here. Carter under center. Xavier Dotson in the backfield. It's a counter play to number 35, Matthew McDaniel. Nice gain up over the 45 to the 48-yard line for a first down. All the action was coming this way, and Mcdaniel was going the other way, and he got the counter play for big yardage on
that was
first down.
Great job by the Lions pulling, too, to get their blocks. He had one more guy to beat, and he probably would have ran that one in.
Yeah, it was real close. So it'll be a first down. And again, the Lions near midfield at the 48. Carter under center, takes a snap, hands off to Dotson straight ahead. He picks up about 6 yards. He's hit pretty hard. He bounces still forward. There on the tackle is number 30, and that's Anthony Apodaca. Also there, number 3, Ronald Caldwell. Gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards, second down.
Yeah, and what this running game does is draws in the defense a little bit, and that's the time you start passing on them.
And it gets soft. That's right. It's second down and 4. Lions need the 42-yard line. Carter takes a snap, spin, pitch to Dotson, who breaks a couple of tackles up over the 40 to the 38 before he's stopped by Ronald Caldwell. First down Lions as they start the march again. Let's see if they can convert it to points. You know, things stiffen up even on a run-type offense. As you get near the goal line, you just have less and less field to work with.
Yeah, this offense is definitely looks like an improvement, given this defense. And, you know, over the long term, will give this defense some rest if they keep the train moving here.
And one of the other advantages of an offense like this is when nobody's running it, each week, every team has to prepare defensively for something they're not used to. Mcdaniel gets the pitch there, carries it up over the 35 to about the 32. Gain of about 4. It's going to bring up second and 6. 55, Marcus Lyons on the tackle for the Weiss Wolves. It's still scoreless here in the first quarter. We got 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining here. In case you're wondering, there's a nice new scoreboard here on SHN Sports. Unfortunately, we can't get the clock on there. 0-0 is the score. Carter under center, double wing formation. McDaniel in motion. They hand off to Dotson straight ahead, and he picks his way for the first down. They're going to drop him right around the 26. He gained a yard more than what was necessary, and the Lions keep the second drive going. They're deep inside Weiss side of the field, but not quite the red zone yet. Getting there. 4 minutes, 5 seconds remaining here in the first period. We're scoreless.
Yeah, they've taken up a lot of time on the offense side with possession, which has been really good.
You know, this is kind of what we expected. I had, mentioned that it really helps with your defensive rest. Sometimes your defense is mad because they don't get to be on the field. Carter fakes a pitch, rolls right, thinks about passing, runs wide, picks up about 6-7 yards, out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. So the Lions now in the Weiss Wolf red zone.
Well, some of these guys on this roster have been on the flip side of that where they wanted to come off the field.
Yeah. Well,
so they're happy right now.
Especially in the trenches, it's hard on guys.
Yeah, that last play, there was a great block by Dotson going back and picking up the end, coming over to pick up, try and get Rashad Carter, but he was able to get a great block and open it up on the outside.
So we got a second down and 4 for the Lions. Carter under center, double wing formation. You got the receivers on the right side. McDaniel starts left, fakes back right. They hand off to Dotson straight ahead. Looks like he's real close to the first down. And there's a little frustration being shown by the Wolf defense. They're going to mark us about a yard short. It's going to be third and about a half yard, really. Ball's going to be marked at the 17-yard line of the Weiss Wolves.
Yeah, the Leander offensive line is doing a good job coming off the ball really fast, and they're driving their guys down the field.
Nice work by the offensive line. I've been thoroughly impressed with their work thus far. You worry because you change your style of blocking than what you've been learning for years. But a lot of these kids played this type of offense when they were younger because us old dads who try to coach, that's all we know. Handoff straight ahead to Dotson, up over the 10 to about the 8. It'll be first and goal. They're going to mark him at the 9, first and goal for the Lions. And the Lions getting real close here to trying to put points on the board. No need for those sticks here as it's 1st and goal from the 9 for the Lions. It's a beautiful stadium. It's a beautiful night. It's kind of toasty warm when it's in August here in Texas, but when you're in the press box, it's not terrible, right?
Yeah, I forgot about the heat already.
Yeah, I'm not mad about air conditioning. Carter under the center. McDaniels in motion. Carter turns and pitches that way going left, and McDaniels in for the touchdown. First line touchdown of the season is going to go to number 35, Matthew McDaniel. And the Lions on the board 6-0 here with about 2:16 remaining in the first period.
Yeah, you see a good push from that offense once again, and you see these linemen taking on 2 or 3 guys at a time, doing their job to open up the holes.
Yeah, nice job by the O-line, and that's where it all starts in both trenches. Carter going to hold. Gaiman's kick is up. It's good, and the Lions are up 7-0. I'm going to take a minute to mention our Booster Club sponsors here. These businesses have contributed to Leander Lions Booster Club, and you should consider contributing to their business as they support your Lions. They include Bush's Chicken, Wingstop, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. We have McCoy Agency. That's a farmer's insurance agency. We've got American Pacific Mortgage. That's James Henderson there with American Pacific Mortgage. Amy Maddox and Allstate. We have Stephanie Biggs, the broker at Blue Door Realty Group, Mighty Fine Burgers and Shakes. And we also have an individual sponsored by Earl and Janice Lott. Thank you very much for your sponsors. Oh, let's not forget good old Randy Hoff down at Lexus of Austin, also a Booster Club sponsor. And I plan on doing some pre-recorded ads so I don't have to say you guys' names all the time, all season. But we appreciate all the support we get from the Booster Club sponsors. And we're coming back here, 2:16 left here in the first period. Lions lead 7-0. Gaiman to kick off, coming left to right. Let's see, back deep for the Lobos. We got number 10, it looks like, Reed Ryland. But it's going to be fielded by the up back number 4, Stuart Miller. He goes straight ahead. We have a flag, usually a blocking foul, right around the 21. He gets up over the 25 to the 26. He's stopped by number 2 of Leander, A.J. Nelson, senior wide receiver. Let's see what the flag is. It's laying on the. So they call holding on the Weiss Wolves on their kick return. So the decent enough kick return at the 24 is going to end up being 1st and 10 for Weiss at about the 12-yard line by the time they finish stepping off those 10 yards. And tough start. You know, when you're starting varsity football for the first time, this is their first varsity season, all varsity. You know, you got to shake it off. You got to get used to the speed of the game.
Yeah, they're going to be playing some pretty fast teams coming up.
So the quarterback again is Jackson Sandlin, and he hands off to Askew, and he's tackled by Evan Smith, number 44. Smith just already racking up tackles here, and that you can thank your D-line for that kind of work because they tie up blocks to allow those linebackers to flow to the play. Number 12, Jackson Sandlin, looks to the sideline, tries to get a signal from his coach, has Askew in the backfield. 3 receivers at the top of the formation. Pass in the flat. Oh, separated from the receiver. I don't know. They're going to call that incomplete. Good hit intended for number 18, Dylan Kaufman. That stop was made by number 3, and that's Xavier Terry who brought the wood there on that hit. He set him up. Yeah, go ahead and catch that pass. You might as well catch it, though, because you're going to get hit.
Yeah, and this offense is going to get frustrated pretty fast, too, if they keep not executing on the ball.
It's 3rd and about 12. Shotgun formation here in the spread. Askew, Sandlin in the backfield. Sandlin takes the snap, drops straight back, flips it over the middle. Has a receiver on the skinny post. It's complete to, and that is it's going to be a first down for the Wolves. That's number 22 with a nice catch. Kalen Rogers. It was a good toss there by the quarterback, Jackson Sandlin, and it is first down now for the Wolves.
Yeah, and the Wolves quarterback took a big hit from sophomore Duron Dixon coming straight up the middle. Dyron.
Yeah. That is he stood in there tall and he delivered the pass, and they got a first down. Looks like sophomore Nose is in the game now, Connor Kracy. There's going to be a 15-yard penalty against the Lions. I'm not sure what that was for. Some type of personal foul occurred. I didn't see it. So it's first down from midfield for the Wolves. Sandlin in shotgun formation in the spread. Takes the snap, hands off straight ahead to Askew. And the Lion D-line is there. Evan Smith getting up off the bottom along with 58, Dyron Dixon. Those linebackers making tackles. Gain of about 2 or 3 for Askew. It's going to be 2nd and 7. We'll give him 3, as the scoreboard operator did as well. Sandlin looking to the sideline for the play call. He steps up, calls it out. In a pistol formation, a little bit shorter on his shotgun. Takes the snap, hands to Askew going right. He cuts back left, and Dixon's there to make the tackle. Nice job hanging out there on the backside by the sophomore linebacker, number 58, Dyron Dixon, as he's also racking up tackles. The Lion linebacker showing that they've come to play this evening. It's going to be 3rd and 9.
Yeah, way to be patient and read the ball.
The Wolves, he has a good nose for the ball.
3rd down and 9.
And he's got pretty good speed. And if you see him, he's a little bit thick, but he's not huge. But he's got deceptive speed. And that's going to be the end of the first quarter. We'll take a quick break here. You're listening to Leander Lions football on SHN Sports at 7-0. Go Lions. Hey, Leander Lions of all ages, listen up. The 14th annual Leander High Craft Market is just around the corner. That's right, Saturday, November 17th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Leander High School, 3301 South Baghdad Road in Leander. Featuring more than 200 vendor booths offering food, crafts, homemade goodies, artisan creations, artist holiday creations, and much, much more. And it's indoors, so it will happen rain or shine. Vendors, get your application and information packet along with a printable craft fair market flyer at leanderbaseball.com. So mark it down, Saturday, November 17th, 2018, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Leander High School, the Leander High Craft Market. You don't want to miss it. The Leander High Craft Market is a production of the Leander High School Baseball Booster Club and is not a part of Leander High School nor Leander Independent School District. Welcome back. Weiss has the ball, 3rd and 9. They're right at the midfield stripe, right on the 49 of Leander. Sandlin flips it into the flat for a first down completion at about the 43, a little bit deeper than the flat, kind of a deep out there. There on the coverage, number 3 with the stop as well, Xavier Terry. Second first down for the Weiss Wolves here in this drive, and they're in Lion territory at the 37 as they're starting to find a little bit of a groove themselves. Sandlin in a pistol formation. Askew beside him. They hand to Askew straight ahead, and there to make the stop, number 52 for Leander, and that is, of course, Matthew Wakama, the senior defensive end. Gain of about 4, maybe 5 yards, though. It's going to be 2nd down now. And the Wolves are ready to go on the line of scrimmage. Sandlin in a shotgun formation, has Askew in the backfield, takes the snap, fakes to Askew, flips a pass over the middle, intended for number 10, Reed Ryland, and it's too high. Ryland looked like he wasn't even expecting that pass. Maybe it was a misread by the quarterback, Sandlin, because this is an RPO-type offense, so he's making reads on whether or not for it to be a run or pass play.
I think it was number 9 or number 90, Connor Kracy, in his face.
He got some pressure in the middle. Well, he's getting some valuable experience out there now at nose. It's going to be 3rd down and 5. Sandlin gets the play call from his coach. Barks it out to the line, takes the snap. They hand to Askew straight ahead. And he gets a couple of yards. He's short of the first down by about a yard, and there's also a flag down right at the line of scrimmage. They did not stop the play, so it's likely a false start. Nope, they're going to call offsides. That hurts the Lions. That's 72, Noah Holofield. He's not on the field, though, so that must be some type of miscall. Probably
52.
52. And 52 is, of course, Wakama, probably lined up offsides. So that's going to give them a first down. Into the game comes Major Maiden, the other sophomore D lineman, alongside of Connor Kracy. We'll see what they can do as sophomores here trying to build a wall. First down, there's a low snap. He has trouble with it, but is able to pick it up. Lions swarm. They're on the tackle. Number 32 for Leander there, getting there quickly, Kavon Spence, and it's a loss of 1 on the play. Second down. That's the kind of play that the Lions need. You know, slow the momentum of the Wolves down here. As I mentioned, they're used to winning football games. They've been taught to win. They had, again, played an acclimating schedule, but they were 8-2 in that schedule.
Yeah, you definitely come in with confidence.
Sandlin forced it up in the pocket. He throws over the middle, intended for number 10, Ryland, and way over his head there defensively is A.J. Nelson. Ryland looking for a flag, but that pass was not catchable. And there was some pressure. I didn't see where it was coming from. Looked like it might have been coming from that right end over there, number 52, Wakama out there, along with number 51, Diego Costa. Connor Kracy staying in at nose.
Looked like both of the ends were getting pressure. The quarterback stepped up through the middle, had some room to run, but he took a shot down the field and it was incomplete.
Yeah, I don't know that pass was there. It would have been a tight placement for it to be complete, but he's going to take a shot here on second down. Sandlin in a shotgun. It's going to be Sandlin and Askew all day, and looks like we're going to have a timeout on the field. Let's see who called it. What did he say? I didn't hear what he said. He said it was their first timeout.
Must be against Weiss.
Yeah, that's right, because the Lions have already called one. So the Wolves are charged a timeout, and I assume that they had requested it. There's 10:31 remaining here in the half. The Lions lead 7-0 here in the opener of the 2018 campaign. Want to welcome Mickey in. She popped in. She's been running camera for another show, and now she's over here to help us free up Mark a little bit to join in more in the broadcast and add some more flavor to what we already add. So here we go. Second down. I need to look.
Third down.
It is third down. Third down. It's throwing me that the down marker's actually illuminated. It's in LED lights. So
that's a little different. Yeah, for us who need some glasses, maybe we can pick it up.
Well, and I wonder, does it have a charging station? Do you just pop it in a little thing when you're done? Sandlin's got a lot of room as he scrambles left. Spence gets over there, but he's going to be able to ooch his way past the first down marker to the Lion 14-yard line. So Sandlin with a nice headsy play for the Wolves, and it'll be first down. Spence had him right at the marker, but you look, Sandlin kind of ooched by him, cut back in, and Spence had overshot him. First down for the Wolves on the 15. There's a snap in the hand of the running back in the backfield. He's dropped immediately. Nice play by Spence as he drops him for a 6-yard loss. I'm going to give that call to the new defensive coordinator for Leander, Hunter Ramsey, because Spence was coming like his tail end had caught a flame. Second down. 16 yards to go. Wolves needing the 5-yard line. Kracy in at nose. We got over Diego Costa and Wakama on the D-line, the linebackers. Smith along with Dyron Dixon in the middle. Sandlin takes the snap, gets pressure from the nose. Kracy, he's flushed out. Nice tipped away by the Lions. It was a good play by Sandlin. He had pressure coming from all sides.
Yeah.
He intended that pass for I didn't see the intended receiver, but there with a great play for the Lions in the secondary is Dimitri Drayton, number 7.
Yeah, great job tipping that ball away. It looked like he had a touchdown waiting to happen, and he was able to get over there and make a great play. Brings up long third down.
And give credit, the receiver got open. Sandlin was forced to scramble. It was just made an athletic throw, and it was a pretty accurate pass. If it wasn't for Drayton, it might have been points for the Wolves. And so now it's third and very long. They're going to need almost 15, about 14 yards, 16 yards actually. He's going to go straight ahead to the running back, Askew, and he picks up about 5-6 yards. And so it's going to be fourth down, and they may send up the field goal unit. Let's see. And that'll be a win, in my opinion, for the Lion defense. Give up a couple of big plays that turned into first downs. But other than those plays, and here at crunch time, the Lions are able to stand up. And let's see, the Wolves will be attempting a field goal here, looking for their first varsity points in the school's history. That is a good trivia question to be the answer to. Weiss with a kick. And it's good, and he's in the history books. That's number 54, Jack Weiss, as being the first person to score points for the Weiss Wolves in varsity football.
Yeah, and you got a new rule. You notice nobody jumping. You can't leap or anything like that on these kickoffs or field goals.
Well, it's surprising the number of injuries that can occur from just somebody running and jumping straight up, because there's such a mass of humanity between the two lines as the D-line tries to force the offensive line into the holder as best they can. And if you got guys jumping up and some of those D-linemen go down or they get pushed back, then people get hurt when they come down. And generally, it's the guy who jumps who gets hurt.
Yeah. Although it's been effective in high school because of a lot of the low kicks that are kicked on. Well,
that's why they were doing that. That's why they were jumping, and they had the schools have the athletes to do that. But as in other levels of the sport, you could never use anybody else's body to leap up into the air. But some of these kids, they can jump out of the building.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
So far we've seen good defensive pressure. Even when Leander has a three-man defensive line, they're getting pressure on the quarterback, and defense is making some plays right now. They're doing a good job.
Yeah, and I like that the defensive coaches, Coach Beef and Coach Ramsey, are rotating the D-line to allow them some rest, because especially with a couple of the guys potentially going both ways. Kick is fielded by LaRue at the 8. He runs straight up the left hash, drops the ball, recovered by Dotson of the Lions at the 32. Kind of a delayed whistle there from the referee, but Dotson certainly was able to get on it. LaRue with a decent return, but as he made contact, lost a handle, and the ball just laid on the carpet there for a couple of seconds, and Dotson coming out of nowhere to get it. That would have been a big break for the Weiss Wolves, and the Lions dodge a bullet there.
Yeah, I think he needs to buy Dotson a hamburger.
Right.
Yeah, nice play by Dotson, trailing the runner and keeping up with the runner, not standing there and buying a ticket and watching him run by. He was following him down the field, and those things happen.
Yeah, and Dotson, as fast as LaRue is, and he's fast, Dotson could run by him if he wanted. So it's nice to see him trail the play and try to pick up a block or see if there is a fumble like that and get on it like he did. 1st and 10, Lions in the double wing, 2 receivers, Dotson at the fullback. You've got LaRue and Mcdaniel at the wings. Carter under center, sends LaRue in motion. They fake to Dotson, pitch to LaRue. He's got it open, 40. He's at midfield. They're not going to catch him. 40, 30, LaRue, 20, 10, 5. He's in for the score. The Lions they're going to call him down at the 1-inch line. That is absurd. That is a touchdown, sir.
Wait, his hands were up. Let's see.
That is a touchdown, sir. There it is. Thank you very much. There is no way you could have called him down.
Yeah.
He horse-collared, tackled him a little, but he didn't bring him down. LaRue's legs are just too strong.
No, he walked in. He walked in.
And it's 13-3 now, and the Lions answer the Wolf field goal with a quick pitch to LaRue on the right side, and they were getting just tired of Dotson in the middle, and they're bringing their defense in the middle, bringing them in the middle, and what does that open up?
The out.
The outside, and here comes Gaiman here for the extra point attempt as the Lions try to remember who's on the unit. Someone's going to be in trouble as number 73 comes running out pretty late. That's Kevin Higgins, senior offensive lineman, and so the Lions have to burn a timeout here to not waste that extra point.
Yeah, that was a great read by Carter. Good fake to Dotson up the middle, sucked him in, two people stood him up, and just you didn't see it. Then at the last minute, the long pitch out to the side.
Yeah, it looked like to me that he handed it. He really rode Dotson until those defenders were on him.
Did a great job pitching it out to the open field, and he had a nice lane and took it all the way.
Yeah, and that's what bringing that ball up the middle efficiently does. It allows you to take those receivers from the outside, bring them inside, because now they're playing man because they got to load the box for the run.
And they just keep bringing them in because they're not stopping them with the traditional 6-7 defensive players there in the middle.
Load the box.
So Gaiman lines up. Carter going to hold. Deep snapper looks like it is number 51, who is Diego Costa. Snap, hold, kick is up. And he's a little bit to the left, and the timeout gets used because the Lions don't get out there with their 11, and then they waste the timeout because they missed that extra point. But it is what it is. Lions on top 13-3 with 8:14 remaining here. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Annual Leander High Craft Market is just around the corner. That's right, Saturday, November 17th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Leander High School, 3301 South Baghdad Road in Leander, featuring more than 200 vendor booths offering food, crafts, homemade goodies, artisan creations, artist holiday creations, and much, much more. And it's indoors, so it will happen, rain or shine. Vendors, get your application and information packet along with a printable craft fair market flyer at leanderbaseball.com. So mark it down, Saturday, November 17th, 2018, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Leander High School, the Leander High Craft Market. You don't want to miss it. The Leander High Craft Market is a production of the Leander High School Baseball Booster Club and is not a part of Leander High School nor Leander Independent School District. And Gaiman's kick is fielded about the 1 yard line. It kind of outkicked his coverage there. The returner is able to turn it up right around the 24 and carries it up to the 30. Tough to read that number without the binoculars, and that's number 10, the receiver, Reed Ryland. On the return, it'll be first down for the Wolves in their territory at the 30-yard line. Again, Leander on top 13-3 with 8:06 remaining in the first period. Boy, Gaiman was about 1.5 yards from putting that in the end zone, which typically doesn't get returned. But when you field it at the 1, you kind of have to return it.
Yeah, you got to make a decision pretty quick.
Yeah, he made the decision to catch it, and it paid off for him as he carries it out to the 30. Snap dropped by the quarterback. He's able to pick it up, and then he's chased by number 44, Evan Smith, but tackled by number 7, Dimitri Drayton, after no or little gain, about 1 yard, second down. 7:48 and counting in the ball game. So the quarterback, Sandlin, barks out the play, any audible. Takes a snap, rolls to his right. Askew in front of him, flips it out into the deep post, complete to number 15, Joseph Robinson. It was real close sideline catch, and it looks like the line judge says he did get his feet in. It'll be a first down, and that's the second time that the Weiss Wolves have hit that deep out pass. What can they do defensively to try to stop that, Mark?
Well, I think they did a pretty good job so far on defense, but they let him get behind the coverage and basically gave up on the quarterback right there when he was rolling out. You got to stay with your man.
A little pressure would help as well. Sandlin takes it, handed straight ahead to Askew. The nose, Kracy was there for getting a piece of him, but Smith makes the tackle, cleaned up by 52, Wakama. Second down. Wakama comes off the field. Major Maiden into the game for Leander. 13-3 is your score, 6:50 and counting. Sandlin waiting for the signal from his coach, Thomas Altman. He's in a pistol formation. Askew behind him. Takes the snap, hands to Askew going to the right. The line stringing out and forcing him out of bounds is number 3, Xavier Terry. Nice job by Terry. He's the last guy at the end of that line. You string it out so far, you got to make that play, and he did. A couple yards gained on the play, 3rd and about 6. 5.5.
Yeah, big play right here for Leander.
Try to slow this drive.
Yeah, Weiss is moving the ball right now. They're coming out. Down by 10. If Leander can hold him here, then they should be punting the ball.
Sandlin in the pistol with Askew. Takes the snap. Hands to Askew straight ahead. He's tackled by number 51, Diego Costa, the senior. Able to make the play there in the backfield. Nice job by Costa. And it's a big loss on the play. 4th down now for the Wolves, and they bring out the punting unit. They're going to try to pin Leander here with about 5.5 minutes left here in the half.
And there's nobody back to take the.
Yeah, the Lions are probably going to let that happen because you don't want to. This is a perfect place to call a fake, and they kind of do look like they're going to, and then they decide not and pooch punt it. The Wolves able to down it right around the 4. He could have let it roll a little more, but he didn't want to risk it.
Yeah, that was a nice punt by number 18 for Weiss.
That's Dylan Kaufman.
Yeah, nice punt, kind of like what you would see with University of Texas over the past couple of years, with that kind of roll out to the right and kind of kick it more like a soccer style and let the ball roll down. And good job of coverage by Weiss, and Leander starts out on their 4-yard line.
That was pretty popular about 8 years ago. That really caught on in football being a copycat sport like it is. And I remember a game between Leander and Cedar Park where they did that to one another for the entire game. Cedar Park ended up coming out on top. Matthew Long had a blocked kick return for about a 70-yard run. It was a good game, but, man, those corner kicks really killed us. Handoff straight ahead to Xavier Dotson for a gain of about 6. And here comes the steady dose of the big fullback, Xavier Dotson. And this is what caused the Weiss Wolves to start bringing their defense in and crowding that box and crowding that box. It's going to be 2nd down and about 4 here. Carter under center. Lions in the double wing. Straight ahead to Dotson again. He slithers his way for a gain of about 4. Nice job. He was right in between a couple of tacklers there, and he's still able to squeeze his way in for a nice game to bring it up a 3rd and very short for Leander.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the offense. They've done a great job of executing every one of their plays. I mean, it's been night and day from the past few years and what I've seen.
And very few pre-snap penalties. Handoff again straight ahead to Dotson. He's real close to the 1st down. Looks like he made just enough.
Yep, they're motioning,
and they're going to give him the 1st. And that's the great thing about Dotson. You hit him, he just has to lay down and get that 1st down. He's a big kid, very cut, and quite a fast fullback.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to bring up as well. We haven't seen a lot of penalties on the offense for the new formations, the new plays, new linemen, new backs, everything, and we haven't seen that so far, and that's a great sign.
Carter takes the snap, drops straight back, has the man open on the seam. It's complete, and he is dragged down. Otherwise, Ishmael Sanchez would have been going for the house. It's 1st down for Leander, though, up that right hash mark. Oh, there's a penalty in the backfield, darn it. They're going to call holding against Leander. And just as soon as we start praising the offense,
of course, there we go.
Not committing penalties, there's one.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah. It is what it is. You have to talk about what you see. So here we go. It's going to put the Lions back around the 5-yard line. It'll remain first down, and this is one of the drawbacks of the offense, right? It's hard to convert a 1st and 17, much harder than a 1st and 10, given your 3 to 4 plays. And on your side of the field like this, it's really 3 plays. You got to get a first down. So the Lions need a little more than 3 yards in a cloud of dust here. But it goes up the gut for about a yard to Dotson.
Yeah, you really needed a good run right there or something to happen on this first down. You know, once you start sucking them in like they've been doing, you can already see everybody coming up, even on this long yardage play. They're still man-to-man outside. So you can take advantage of that with someone like Ismael Sanchez.
And that was Apodaca on the stop for the Wolves. It's going to be second down in about 16, 17 yards. I'm going to say 16 because it looks like Lions need the 24. Straight ahead again to Dotson. He picks up about 3, and this is one of those situations that, you know, I'm going to say this is really smart coaching in this offense because you're up 10. There's only a little under 3 minutes here in the half. The last thing you want to do is risk a turnover, dropping back, and allowing a potential sack or a safety or a scoop and score. So you just grind it out like you're doing. Stick with your game plan, punt it away, and let your defense do their job.
Yeah, I agree. That's smart coaching.
And this is where you have to have a lot of patience when you're going to run a veer offense like this because that's part of the offense is that you want to eat up time. You want to eat up the clock. And the Lions run the play clock all the way down to 1 second before they call timeout. And with 2:08, we'll take us a quick timeout. Well, actually, I'll just mention our sponsors here that I haven't had an opportunity to do the audios for, and now I can't find them either. So, hey, how about that? Now, they include Bush's Chicken. They include Wingstop, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, Farmers Insurance, and that is the McCoy Insurance Agency. James Henderson with American Pacific Mortgage. We've got Amy Maddox and her Allstate Agency. Mighty Fine Burgers and Shakes. Blue Door Realty Group. That's Stephanie Biggs there with Blue Door. And, of course, Earl and Janice Lott. And we will never, ever forget our friend at Lexus of Austin, Randy Hoff. Thank you for your sponsorships, folks. 13-3 is your score with 2:08 remaining in the first half. The Lions on top here against the Weiss Wolves in the Weiss first ever varsity game for the school. Carter fakes the pitch, drops back, and the Lions do look like they're going to throw. And LaRue is open, catches it at the 45. They're not going to catch him. 30, 25, 20. He might catch him. 10, 5. LaRue in for the score. He was reeling them in, and LaRue knew it, and so he cut across and was able to get his second touchdown tonight.
Yeah, that was a good read. Good read by the offense. You know,
great play call by Coach Smith or Coach Thompson, whoever called that. You know, I thought they were going to hand it off straight ahead, punt it away, rely on your defense. What did we just say?
I just think it's been incredible to watch the growth of LaRue. He's just known him, you know, been around his family for a long time, and just to see what he's become as a football player has been awesome to watch.
I think he could squat a house. It's 19-3 now. Lions on top. There's the snap, hold, and gaming up with the kick, and that one's going to be good as he hits the screen up there. Well, that net, at least, it pushed it into the screen. The Lions now on top 20-3 over the Weiss Wolves. And
yeah, that was a great play right there. They brought both receivers in. It looked like they were going to run, burn out the clock, and, you know, maybe go for a punt. But they had LaRue come out of the inside receiver down the middle of the field, and they didn't pick him up, and he was wide open, and Carter hit him on the fly. Great play.
And it was great patience by Carter because it's a kind of a slow developing play. Give credit also to the offensive line who gave Carter the time to make that read and throw. Excellent job by the Lion offense, and I really like what I see to this point in the season. The Lions, of course, have a expanded district than what we had in previous couple of years, and you know, while we lose Westlake and Lake Travis, we gained Cedar Ridge, Round Rock, Hendrickson, and, we didn't really trade off much. It's
but I think it's still a better natural fit for Leander.
I like it. As a broadcaster, I love it because I'm just driving to Williamson County, man. All about that. There you go, 20-3 is the score. Game into kickoff.
From an economic standpoint, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. Fielded by Askew as he goes into the end zone, comes back out. He's at the 15, 20 balls on the ground. He's able to get on top of it. Drayton on the stop, and it looks like I was wrong on the returners. That's number 4, Stuart Miller, not number 6, Jaden Askew. And Askew's on offense and defense, so, I guess you can only ask so much of a kid to play running back and linebacker.
Gaiman had a nice kick down to about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, both of them are real close to going into the end zone. There's no flags flying that I see, so there's really no wind. But that's that's 60 yards away off a tee. That's a pretty strong leg. Sandlin in the pistol formation. Askew to his right. There's a snap. He rolls right, flips it into the flat to number 10, Ryland. He catches it and tackled immediately around the 26 for a gain of 4.
Joseph Robinson.
As they had the ball on the 22, second down. I didn't see who made the tackle there. Number 32 is Kayvon Spence, and number 7 on the stop, Dimitri Drayton. Thank you, Mickey. Sandlin drops back. He's flushed out of the pocket by Wakama, but he's able to scramble out straight ahead, and he carries for a positive gain and a first down for the Weiss Wolves up to the 35-yard line. 129. The clock stops to move the chains. They'll get ready to wind it here. The Wolves have 2 timeouts. Leander out of timeouts. So Sandlin in the pistol formation. Askew in the backfield. Sandlin takes the snap, rolls to his left, flips it in the flat. Should have been intercepted as he hit number 32. Kayvon Spence was wide open for the Lions. Hit him right in the hands. As soon as Sandlin released that, you could see he was like, oh, no.
Yeah, I think he was a little surprised that it came to him that fast. It was right to him, maybe a little high above the helmet. But.
He's got a nice little delivery, the quarterback does. He flips it out there, and it gets there in a hurry. So Sandlin, again, the quarterback we were just mentioning, in shotgun formation, pistol with Askew beside him. Takes the snap, drops straight back, looks to his left, goes deep down the left sideline. Incomplete. Nice coverage there by Xavier Terry.
Yeah, stride for stride with him down the left sideline and stayed with them, and incomplete pass. Great play by Terry.
Yeah, I almost call him Xavier Williams, who graduated last year. So you got to get it right. We've got 2 Xaviers on this roster. So
yeah, there's a little run over with some names.
So Sandlin and Askew.
We've got brothers. We've got
– yeah, we're going to have a timeout here called by the Weiss Wolves. So 1:10 remaining here in the half. Lions lead 22-3. And so we'll run a quick break, and we'll be right back here. You're listening to SHN Sports. This is Leander Lions Football. We'll be right back. Hey, Leander Lions of all ages, listen up. The 14th annual Leander High Craft Market is just around the corner. That's right, Saturday, November 17th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Leander High School, 3301 South Baghdad Road in Leander. Featuring more than 200 vendor booths offering food, crafts, homemade goodies, artisan creations, artist holiday creations, and much, much more. And it's indoors, so it will happen rain or shine. Vendors, get your application and information packet along with a printable craft fair market flyer at leanderbaseball.com. So mark it down. Welcome back, and Sandlin gets the snap here, flips it to the open field. There was no receiver there. The closest player on the field that was to that pass was Evan Smith, and it drops incomplete, brings up 4th down. And really that timeout benefited Leander as Weiss, this is kind of some of the things that would happen to the Lions. using that same spread offense, you have an opportunity, so you call timeout, and then you come out and you run a quick incompletion, and you basically called a timeout for your opponent. And that Leander's getting a little benefit of that. They're not going to send a kicker back here on or a returner back rather here on 4th and 10. There's a little kick straight down the middle. Takes a Lion bounce straight up, and it's down by the Wolves there at the 12-yard line. That is number 22, Kalen Rogers, getting down the ball. Lions lead 20-3. They'll have possession of the football with 55 seconds here. If you're not so deep in your end, this would be an opportunity to work on your 2-minute drill. I don't know about it here. That in the shadow of your end zone, things can go wrong.
I say keep running the ball and wearing down the defense.
Let's see what kind of run you get on first down. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But let's see if you get a big run here on first down. Maybe you do call timeout, or you don't have timeout, but maybe you get out there and throw the ball a couple of times.
Yeah, the corners are setting up a little bit outside the receiver, so that quick slant is there if they want to look for it.
Carter keeps to his right and uses his legs to avoid a tackle and picks up about 5 or 6 yards. Pretty impressive run for such a short gain. You see the natural ability that Carter is able to display in that run, and just a short run as he avoids a couple of tackles and gets 5 yards out of what was essentially nothing.
He's a very shifty runner. He's quick, and he has quick spurts, and he's able to elude those defenders, and he does a really good job on the inside. This offense fits him well.
Yeah, I like the description, quick spurt, but he goes 0 to 60 pretty quickly.
He does.
And keeps it there.
Right. Second down, Carter under center. Handoff straight ahead as they take Gary Gutierrez's Weiss and just pound the middle, make that defense work every play this half, and that is the half. Lions on top 20-3. Stick around as we'll have the bands, I believe, are going to perform tonight. Is that correct, Mickey? And so you'll be able to see some of the progress the bands have made since they started working on their stuff pre-school starting. When they probably start around beginning of August, right?
They start beginning of July.
Beginning of July. So they've been working on this program for a while, and they're not even anywhere near done with it. And it's pretty impressive. So stick around. We'll get the Lions here first as they're the visitors. The Lion Band needs no introduction.
Can't wait to figure out the
And
riddle.
then we're going to look at the
performing.
Weiss Band.
Can't wait to figure out the riddle of what they're doing on the field.
Yes, it takes a few games, right? It takes a few games. And then there's been some that they've even won awards on that I still never figured out exactly what was going on.
Well, even when I do find out, I still don't understand.
That's the artistic part of it, Gary. You're just all logical, left-brained or right-brained or whatever it is. I think left brain is logic, right? You're like,
Or I'm just old and I'm through that already.
that could be as well. Well, we know you're old, but so anyway, we'll. You got anything you want to add about the first half, Mark?
No, I think they did a good job on offense, moving the ball with, like we talked about earlier, the new offense. We've seen some big plays in the running game and the passing game.
Obviously, touchdowns from LaRue.
The running game set up that open pass. And I think the defense has done a really good job up front. The corners have done a good job covering the receivers down the field.
And we have two wings in the offense, the two starting wings, Mcdaniel and LaRue, and they have the 3 touchdowns. And the funny thing is they're not even in real wing type plays that they got those touchdowns. So,
yeah, I think one of the things that I've noticed, in the past years, we've seen certain times where they've been crisp and efficient. And what I've seen here in the first half is it's been pretty much the whole first half. They've been very executable. Defense has stood their ground. They've changed the ball game of Weiss offense a little bit, make them do some things that they probably weren't planning on doing right away. So I've seen a lot of good play by them as a complete package. On all facets of the game.
Yeah, there was a couple of small breakdowns on the defense, especially in the secondary.
Yeah.
They gave a couple of long passes. But, when it came crunch time, the defense stood up, forced a field goal, And as a result, it's 23. And this is your band, the Line Band. We'll be right back after halftime. You're listening to SHN Sports. Welcome back, everyone, to the field here in Pflugerville, Texas. It's a beautiful night, clear evening. It's dark, and if you look across the area, you see the growth of Central Texas, because we're looking north. That's not even towards downtown, and there's lots of lights out there.
The growth of Pflugerville. You know, they say this is 22 times the population of Pflugerville in 1968.
Wow.
This stadium holds.
Well, if you look at the old stadium, and we kind of made some jokes about the visitors' press box over at the field, and you can still see it. They're having some sub-varsity games for the Pflugerville Panthers over there right now, and it's dimly lit relative to where we're at, and you can just see the difference in technology. And you know, the good thing about Kumpel is what Kumpel Stadium over there, that's where they filmed the TV show Friday Night Lights, and so you gotta have to keep that stadium for that.
Yeah, and right down the road they have the old high school, which was previous to this one.
Correct.
And pretty impressive.
And we'll get to take on the Pflugerville Panthers next week. They get to visit the Lions at AC Bible Memorial Stadium there in Leander. We'll bring the broadcast with you. I'll be on the PA, but Mark Sickles will take over play-by-play, and Gary will join him along with Rich and Mickey, and we'll get the broadcast to you. Kick goes fielded by the Wolves at about the 3. It looked like there might have been a block in the back, but I don't see a flag on the play, or it doesn't appear, at least from this angle, and the Wolves will have a 1st and 10 here to open the second half. They're going to have it right around the 24-yard line.
Yeah, let me go over some of these stats real quick.
Go ahead,
if I can
Mark.
pull those up.
Now, these are estimated stats, of course.
Yeah, we'll get back in just a minute when we're about to
Unofficial.
start here.
We'll just call them unofficial.
I'll pull these back up when we get a chance.
Yeah, that's fine.
This next quarter.
Whenever we get a break here. The Wolves come out in formation. The quarterback is still Jackson Sandlin. Had a pretty good first half. In the backfield with him is Askew, the running back. That's Jaden Askew. Sandlin fakes to Askew, keeps it. Gets by the end, but coming up to make the play after really a short gain was the cornerback on that right side, and that's number 2 for the Lions, A.J. Nelson, the senior, coming up to make a play.
Yeah, real quick on offense, Leander, 280 yards on offense, 26 plays, 10.8 yards per play, 189 yards rushing, a little over 100 receiving, and getting to our running backs. Take a break here.
Askew goes straight ahead. He meets the nose there of the Lions, and that's number 90, the sophomore, Connor Kracy, making the play to stuff Askew, and then the rest of the line defense there to clean it up. 11:04. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah, Dotson, 16 carries for 79 yards, average 4.9. Addison LaRue, 2 for 69, 34.5. Mcdaniel, 3 for 25, a little over 8, and Carter had 4 for 16. So good showing on offense.
Sandlin in the pistol formation with Askew. Takes the snap, rolls to his right, flips it into the post, and he had a receiver there, got between 2 defenders. The Lions had better coverage that time on that play, but the pass got between Drayton and number 16 of the Lions, Egglesey, and almost completed. Falls incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down. You know, when's the last time you heard stats like that in a half from the Leander Lions? It's been a little while.
It has been a long time.
Especially the offensive plays. 26 plays and a half is pretty good.
Yeah, they've done a really good job of keeping the ball, protecting the ball, and running plays down the field.
How many first downs?
I'll have to get back to that. Hold on, I'm trying to update the stats right now.
So the Wolves punt. Lions again choose not to field it, and it takes a Weiss Wolf roll beyond the 30 to about the 27. They're going to mark it at the 27 Lions ball. It'll be their first possession here in the second half. They lead the Weiss Wolves 20-3.
I don't think they're ready to show the district what kind of talent they got catching balls back there yet.
We'll see. They're not. They're probably, you know, Coach Smith is pretty strategic about what he wants to reveal. Sometimes you just got to go out there and play football, though, and so we'll see what the Lions do here in second half. Carter still the quarterback. Lions in a double wing formation, 2 receivers. Mcdaniel comes in motion, goes back, and they hand off straight ahead to Xavier Dotson. Dotson going to be at least the leading ball carrier in terms of carries for sure. LaRue has a couple of long runs, which may give him an advantage in yards, but with as many carries as Dotson has had and quite a few 6, 7, 8-yard runs, he's just real close to busting that for a long one.
And he's got such strong legs. You see him get that push and gets that extra yard or two once they stand him up.
And they're going to get so tired by the end of the game, he's going to break one of those. LaRue, and they do the counter to Mcdaniel. He had one guy to beat, unable to get by him. Gets up to the 34-yard lines where they're going to mark him. There on the stop, number 5, that's Dwayne Salsa. It's going to be 3rd and short, 3rd and about 2 for the Lions, and Carter walks over to the sideline to get the play call. And the Lions, not in a big hurry. They utilize the play clock a lot more extensively in this offense, and Carter jogs into the huddle. There's about 15 seconds on that play clock. They break the huddle. Still plenty of time. Scores 20-3. There's 9:16 left in the third quarter. Double wing. LaRue gets to the pitch. Going left to right. Picks up the first. Breaks another tackle. Gets up over the 40 to the 43. It'll be first down for the Lions there. Didn't see he was on the stop. They're going to give it to number 3, Ronald Caldwell. Looked like Salsa might have been there as well for the Weiss Wolves.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of weapons being used on offense and effectively.
If they can remain healthy, it looks like a pretty versatile attack on the offensive side of the ball for the Lions. Carter under center in the double wing. 2 receivers are tight. They hand off to Dotson straight ahead for a gain of about 6. And if you're going to give it to Dotson on first down, he gets you 6 yards all day long. You're going to feed him that football. And that is what is happening to the Weiss Wolves. Want to give a shout-out to my brother. We mentioned earlier when we were talking about the run-through tunnel that he was instrumental in. Shout-out to the Granbury Pirates and his team as they take on the Weatherford Kangaroos. My nephew, a cornerback on that football team. Good luck to them. You and I have a little history, Mark, with Granbury as we took some of these kids on the lines up to Granbury when they were in 6th. And, my son was in I think he was in 4th. 4th, 5th, and 6th graders took them up there and put a thumping on Granbury.
Yeah, that was a fun time going up there and had a good time with all the kids going out to eat and good bonding, and it was a great experience for all of them.
And I'll never let my brother John live it down, and he knows it. But if that game was another quarter long, who knows what had happened because it was pretty tight ball.
It was a good game.
So it's 2nd down and about 4 for the Lions. They got a double wing formation. Carter under center. They got the receivers fairly tight. Straight ahead to Dotson again. He picks his way for a gain of about 5 and a first down. It looks like it's going to depend on the spot. The line judge on the line side is about a half-yard short, which will bring up 3rd and less than a yard. But again, in this offense, a yard, you want that 3rd and short. It's a lot better than 3rd and long in this offense, although we've seen that the Lions can throw out of these formations and have done so. So the Leander Lions continue to march. They're in Weiss territory at the 48-yard line, 7:35 and counting here in the third period. Lions on top, 20-3. Carter under center takes a snap in an I formation, fakes the fullback, cuts up right around left tackle, and is wrapped up after a short gain, enough for the first down, though. He picked up about 2 yards, which is all he needed to the 46. He really only needed the 47, and the Lions move the chains and, again, continue to retain possession of the football, which, as we've discussed, is one of the more advantageous benefits of running a veer or a run-style offense. We got a player down for the Wolves, and that's going to stop the clock as he couldn't make it off the field. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to SHN Sports Leander Lions Football. I'm Chuck Kracy with Gary Gutierrez, Mark Sickles, Rich Hensley, and Mickey. We'll be right back. Hey, Leander Lions of all ages, listen up. The 14th annual Leander High Craft Market is just around the corner. That's right, Saturday, November 17th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Leander High School, 3301 South Baghdad Road in Leander. featuring more than 200 vendor booths offering food, crafts, homemade goodies, artisan creations, artist holiday creations, and much, much more. And it's indoors, so it will happen rain or shine. Vendors, get your application and information packet along with a printable craft fair market flyer. Here we go. 1st and 10 for the Lions. Carter under center, takes a snap, rolls to his right, has LaRue, the pitch man. He's got the pitch. He's upfield at the 40, out of bounds around the Wolf 35. It looks like they're going to give him the 37. So he's just shy of the first down. Gain of 9 for LaRue. And again, you pound the middle with Dotson. The defense has no choice but to bring guys in there, and it opens up the outside, and the Lions take advantage of it.
Yeah, and they just don't have the strength. They're losing their strength and fitness to get outside and meet that guy out on the outside. And it was real. You saw the guys laying on the sideline. There's 4 of them that took them probably about 30 more seconds to get up than everybody else.
Yeah, it's cramping is what it is. It's a hot evening out here. We're still up over 90 degrees, I believe. Straight ahead to Dotson, and he pinballs his way forward for a first down. Gain of really about 6 or 7 yards to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, you're starting to see that wear and tear they're starting to be able to take advantage of that now.
He took a shot on that one, but if he keeps his balance, that's a touchdown.
Yeah, you can see the quickness of the backs right now for Leander with Dotson and Carter and LaRue. All of them they're faster than the defense out there, and you can see it when they're getting around the edges and up the middle.
And Carter under center in the wing formation. Fakes to Dotson, had a pitch man, but goes back left as the defense was there, and Carter breaks a tackle, gets up over the 20 to about the 18.
And a flag.
And we have a flag. It's either going to be a horse collar or a face mask against the Weiss Wolves is what I think it'll be, because it was right on the tackle. Let's see what the referee says.
Looks like it might have been a horse collar.
Yeah, Carter jumped up wanting. That was a face mask. Well, if you grab
take a pic.
Well, if you grab the back of their helmet, that's still a face mask.
Yeah,
top of their helmet or whatever. And you saw Carter jump up, so he felt something. Jump up wanting a flag, and that'll push it inside the 10 to the 9-yard line for Leander as they grind out this third quarter. This is their first offensive possession in this quarter. The Wolves had the opening possession here in the third, but were unable to convert more than one first down. Carter under center, double wing, LaRue, and a counter to Mcdaniel. He's met at the line of scrimmage. Minimal gain there for Matthew Mcdaniel, maybe 1.
Yeah, I think they're going to give him maybe 1 on that one.
There on the stop was the outside linebacker, number 5. That's Dwayne Salsa. So 2nd and goal, ball's at the 8. 4:53 and counting here in the third period. Lions comfortably ahead 20-3, looking to build that lead and so they can get some of their twos a little more work in this ball game. That's how you develop depth. You can only get so much experience from practice, right? You got to get into the game to develop that depth. And we've seen a lot of play from sophomores here on the Lions, especially on the defensive side of the ball, but on both sides of the ball. Defensively, the Lions are young. They've got a few sophomore starters in Dyron Dixon and Ray Egglesey. And they've been bringing in Major Maiden and Connor Kracy in a substitution role on the defensive line. They've gotten significant play and contributed, and you like to see that from those guys because going into district, your depth is really important. And we're going to be playing some teams, big schools. Round Rock has probably got 1,000 more kids than Leander in their schools.
And if any of those kids go down, the starters,
they better
be ready. 2s and 3s better be ready to go in.
That's right. Next man up. And so I like to see that development, especially on the defensive side of the ball. That's the new defensive coordinator, Hunter Ramsey, came in the spring, and he's really put an imprint on this defense to this point. Lions in a double wing, Carter under center. They've got a heavy set to the left, but they pitch to the right. It goes to Dotson on the pitch. He finally gets a run to the outside, and he gets it over to about the 5-yard line, where he is stopped. Number Looks like number 55, Marcus Lyons, on the tackle.
Yeah, that little bit of delay getting that ball out kind of slowed the running back down, so he lost his momentum going into that.
Yeah, he had to kind of hop a little bit, and he didn't have the base that he typically does.
Yeah, if he didn't have to hesitate, that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, it looks like we have a flag.
Yeah, penalty, personal foul on Leander.
Was it a clip or a chop?
I couldn't tell. I just saw the personal foul signal. And the
either way, it's probably
15,
an illegal block.
Well, and with the new rule on the blocking, is the inside guys, inside tackle, they're allowed to hit below the waist.
Yes.
Anything beyond that 5 yards, you can't hit below the waist, or that's a penalty. Or you can't turn outside of that 10-2 clock.
Carter takes the snap. We got a flag down. Pitch to LaRue. He's in for the score, but there is a penalty, and hopefully that's on the defense, because usually in a false start they'll stop the play.
I'm not really sure if that was a design play or if that was an accident.
But it looks like there might be a penalty against the Lions here. Let's see. Lions are celebrating there on the sideline.
He's pointing at some of the Lion players, so that's not a good sign.
Let's see what the call is. Generally, when there's a false start or a motion, they'll stop the play. I didn't see a whistle. They just threw the flag down right around the 20-yard line. That's right at the line of scrimmage. That was second down. Or no, that would have been first down, rather, because it was right after the penalty.
We had a false start on the offense. Be 5-yard penalty from the spot of foul. We also had dead ball personal foul on the offense, number 17 and number 72.
Lions need to learn to keep their head here, push themselves out of scoring position. A couple of Lions getting into some words of, I'm sure they were kind words to their opponent, but draws a 15-yard penalty nonetheless, and it's going to push Leander way back to the 40, because it looks like they penalized for both the false start and the personal foul. And that's because the personal foul occurred after the play.
And LaRue had the hat trick.
Yeah, he did. That would have been his third.
He's got to be a little upset about that.
Yeah. That'll put you on the front page of tomorrow's paper. 3 touchdowns. 2, you might get the lead in the story, but you might not be on the first page of the sports.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if it got pitched back to LaRue or if that was a mishandling of the ball and it just luckily bounced back to him.
It happens in this offense from time to time, and we've seen that because of that, the Lions are very alert to loose balls, and we saw Dotson get one that LaRue fumbled on a kick return, and then, like you said there, it looked like maybe LaRue was just on the spot, Johnny on the spot there. Carter takes the snap, keeps it, rolls right, runs up. He's got the 30, cuts inside, spins at the 25, inside to near the 20 with a nice play for Carter there on 2nd and 40. Gets a lot of it back. They're going to get it down to the 21. So it'll be 3rd down now, and they're easily in game and field goal range here. Of course, they had 6 points on the board just moments ago before those penalties.
Yeah, he had a nice spin move right at the end of the run. That picked up about another 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, it was a good move, and that's where you see Carter's natural ability shine through there. 3:11 left, and ball goes straight ahead to Dotson, and he carries it inside the 15 to the 14, and so it will be 4th down, and Coach Smith's going to send out the kicking unit and get points here, and why not? You want to give yourself a 20-point lead here with 2:50 and counting in the 3rd period.
This will be a 31-yard field goal here for Gaiman.
He's on the right hash, which is his way to kick.
31-yard field goal.
And it's a knuckler, but it gets through, and the Lions add to their lead. It's 23-3 with 2:35 remaining here. And I'm going to try to get our boosters mentioned here if I can here in the second half. If I'll stop getting texts from the other guys here. Let's see.
Well, another impressive drive from Leander, especially with those penalties, setting him back with, 2nd and 40. and they're able to come down and punch it in for another score.
Yeah, and it still gives still a pretty impressive drive. Still gives the coaches something to chew them on film and work them next week. So pretty positive all around. The sponsors for Leander Lions Football Booster Club include Bush's Chicken, The Wing Stop, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, Farmers Insurance, the McCoy Insurance Agency. We have James Henderson with American Pacific Mortgage, Amy Maddox and her Allstate Agency. We have Stephanie Biggs with Blue Door Realty Group, Mighty Fine Burgers and Shakes, Earl and Janice Lott, and, of course, our friend Randy Hoff with Lexus of Austin.
Yeah, with my unofficial stats, I have Leander with about 340 yards of total offense. Weiss, I have them at about 67.
Yeah, the Lions' defenses look good. They've only given up a few big plays in the air. Gaiman to kick off, going south to north. He gets a nice kick. He's been kicking it fairly deep. That one gets into the end zone and prevents any kind of return. The Weiss Wolves have had decent returns on those kicks. Gaiman almost outkicks his coverage each time. We have a flag down, though, and the Lions will probably have to try to kick again and give the opportunity for the Wolves here, as it looks like they were offsides potentially.
Yeah, Gaiman's only a junior right now, but he's got a big leg, and he's still got a whole other year to grow.
Yeah, and he's only been kicking for football for a couple of years now. He got picked off the soccer team. Still a pretty good soccer player on the soccer team, but may find himself with at least a partial ride somewhere where you keep kicking with that distance. I didn't hear what the referee said. So it was after the kick? They're going to kick again.
Let's see what they're going to do.
And they're having a little confusion. It's early in the season for the referees as well, so, bear with us, folks. Lions on top, 23-3. Can't ask for much more than that. Lions, again, as we mentioned, with an opportunity here to get into a multiple-game winning streak.
Yeah, it looks like they marked the 5 yards at the end of the kick. So now they'll start out on the 30-yard line.
They gave that choice to Coach Altman with Weiss. He took the yards. He's ready. He had his play called already. Handoff goes to Askew going from the bottom of the screen to the top of the screen. He's wrapped up by one of the defensive linemen of the Leander Lions, and that's number 52, Wakama, who has shown up in a big way this evening for the Leander Lions. Right now the defensive line is Wakama, and number 51 on the other side is Diego Costa, Kracy in the middle. So the Wolves are in a pistol formation. Again, the quarterback, Jackson Sandlin, takes the snap, drops right back to pass.
Lots
Getting
of pressure
from Wakama. He's able to get outside of the pocket and pick up the first down, though, and that's where the athleticism of Sandlin is evident. We saw it earlier.
There's a flag on the play.
Yeah, maybe a late hit on Birmingham. He came up, number 10, put a big hit on him, but he may have had his foot on the out-of-bounds line before he made contact. We'll see
He
what
was
they call
certainly
here.
going out of bounds, and a lot of times, even if you hit them inbounds, they'll still call that.
Yeah, that was pretty close. I was watching it. But he barely escaped probably about 3 guys in the backfield chomping at his foot.
Yep, they got Birmingham there, and it'll be a first down for the Wolves. Yeah, they were going for the ball, unable to get it, and it'll move the ball into Lion territory at the 42-yard line. It'll be first down for the Wolves. So Sandlin, after that, showing his athleticism on that play, had really a touchdown opportunity that was broken up by Dimitri Drayton that was strictly on his athleticism. 1st and 10 for the Wolves, pistol formation. They got it back to the right. Pass is complete in the flat, and there quickly is number 16 with the stop. Sophomore Ray Egglesey coming up fast, and there's a flag down.
That was a late hit.
On us?
On Weiss.
Okay. So Egglesey on the tackle, he got there in a hurry, and then there was some contact after the tackle. So that's going to help Leander. It'll move the ball back out of line territory into Weiss territory.
Yeah, and that's just the players of Weiss showing their frustration.
There's some kind of commotion going on here as a part of the Weiss crowd moves to the railing for some reason. 23-3 here as the Wolves have a first down and 21. They need to get to the line 32 for a first down.
Maybe a Kardashian's here or something.
Yeah, I got a feeling there's probably a scuffle going on down there. Pistol formation. Sandlin takes the snap, pitches to Askew, going left to right. He's strung out and gets no yardage. Egglesey there along with number 14 for the Lions, and that's Arturo Paisana getting a little work in the secondary, the sophomore safety. 23-3. Second down and 21 now for the Weiss Wolves.
Yeah, and that goes to show that the defense still has some good strength in their legs, and they're penetrating that offense, starting to wear that offensive line down now as the offensive Leander is doing to Weiss defense.
And it's the rotation that you see right now. You got the original starters in. Sandlin, nobody's open. He had good protection, but it broke down, and he's able to carry it up near midfield. But it's going to bring up third down and a good 15 yards or more, 18, to get a first down.
Yeah, you got to give Sandlin some credit because he's definitely made a lot of these plays happen with his athleticism.
He's a gamer, and Askew as well. The Wolves just need to put it together. This being their first year in varsity football, they obviously have some talent siphoning off of the number 20 team in the state, the Hendrickson Hawks, here in Pflugerville ISD. Sandlin takes the snap, is looking to throw. Has a man open in the middle. It's tip drill time, and it's not intercepted as Egglesey was almost able to get it there. Getting a hand on it was Dimitri Drayton again, showing excellent work from that linebacker position there in the passing game. The second time he's tipped a what would have been a completed pass away.
Yeah, and his eyes were on the ball the whole time. You could see him reading that play very clearly from up here. What a great job he did on that.
Yeah, defensive backs have had a good showing tonight.
Yeah, and I was a little worried about our secondary because we haven't shown well in scrimmages to this point. Looks like they've been able to shore up some of that. No punt returner here for the Weiss punt attempt. And, of course, Weiss gives the little pooch corner attempt. It stays in the middle, takes a wolf roll, and is downed at around the 8 by Weiss's number 22. And that, of course, Kalen Rogers getting down there to down another punt. 23-3 is your score. There's 33 seconds left here in the third period. Lions will take over. And what you need to see here is a very long, time-consuming drive that results in points. A touchdown preferably. Try to push that score to 30-3 and leave Weiss very little time to work with.
Well, they got a lot of field here, first and 90,
the kind of offense to grind out.
Yeah,
yards
first and 10 on their 8-yard line. So, you wouldn't mind seeing them take a shot here. They're up by 20 points.
Let's get a couple.
There's no one out on the right receiver right now. He's wide open. Hopefully, he sees him out there and he'll have a
Carter
quick throw.
Looked that way. He does see him, but they dropped a guy into coverage. Carter wisely keeps the ball straight ahead and picks up 12. But yeah, Carter did see it, and he looked there, but it looked like they were disguising the coverage. And had Carter thrown that pass, it might have been a bad throw. And it looks like Carter's a little shaken up.
So you got a cramp.
Yeah, it looks like a cramp.
It's super hot.
Pushing his toe.
It is super hot out here tonight, and so we'll mention the sponsors here while we're waiting. Get them another second half mention. They're Bush's Chicken. I love how I say Bush's Chicken. I can never say it right. Wingstop, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. We've got the Farmers Insurance Agency with McCoy Agency. We have James Henderson with American Pacific Mortgage. Amy Maddox and Allstate Insurance. Stephanie Biggs, broker with Blue Door Realty Group. Mighty Fine Burgers, Fries, and Shakes, one of our favorite podcast places. Earl and Janice Lott, some individual donors, as well as our friend Randy Hoff with Lexus of Austin. Thank you, Booster Club sponsors. Also, don't forget, you've heard a couple of promos of it, the baseball craft fair is coming up in early November, or it was mid-November actually. I think it's the 19th. But look for that. Always a big event. Tons of Christmas stuff that you can get, and support Leander Line Sports wherever you can.
Yeah, Carter's out. Looks like LaRue is in at quarterback right now.
Yeah, LaRue, the backup quarterback for the moment, takes the snap, moves to the right, keeps the ball, is able to get about 2 yards.
You mean the Wildcat?
It's a Wildcat from under center. But, you know, you're running this kind of offense. A running back's not a bad option there at your quarterback position, and that'll be the end of the third quarter. We'll take a quick moment to listen to that craft fair ad, and you'll get the exact date down. And if you're a vendor, get your booth now. Hey, Leander Lions of all ages, listen up. The 14th annual Leander High Craft Market is just around the corner. That's right, Saturday, November 17th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Leander High School, 3301 South Baghdad Road in Leander. Featuring more than 200 vendor booths offering food, crafts, homemade goodies, artisan creations, artist holiday creations, and much, much more. And it's indoors, so it will happen, rain or shine. Vendors, get your application and information packet along with a printable craft fair market flyer at leanderbaseball.com. So mark it down, Saturday, November 17th, 2018, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Leander High School, the Leander High Craft Market. You don't want to miss it. The Leander High Craft Market is a production of the Leander High School Baseball Booster Club and is not a part of Leander High School nor Leander Independent School District. Welcome back to the field. Lions coming out of the third period, dominating time of possession in this game. I don't have the exact figures, but it's somewhere around 3/4 of the time the Lions have had the ball.
Got a new quarterback, number 34, Addison LaRue.
LaRue takes the snap, keeps to the right, picks his way up over the 30, near the 35 for a
Loses
first
the ball.
down. Ball is on the ground. You're right. Was there a whistle? There's a flag dropped late. I think they're going to get the coach for coming out onto the field maybe. Altman was out on the field, or one of the assistant coaches may have been out on the field. Let's see what the flag was. It came out late. We'll see what. Well, they didn't ever say that was Wells with the late hit. They never did say who possessed the ball because I thought I heard a whistle.
Yeah, it looks like they're calling it down.
Yeah, I thought I heard a whistle from LaRue before the ball came. You know, not from LaRue, but when he still had the ball before it came out. Wells trying to get an explanation on the late hit penalty. He just needs to get in there and play football.
And now he's walking off. Looks like another cramp. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of those tonight.
That's Mcdaniel.
Oh, is that
yeah.
Mcdaniel?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it looks like another person with a cramp. And like I was talking about, I'm surprised we haven't seen more tonight with this heat being the first game out there in the sun early on.
Well, it's fourth quarter, so the numbers will rise, I'm sure.
Well, and that's it's key to hydrate. You cannot drink enough water in Texas during this time of year if you're playing football. So the penalty will be stepped off. It's an odd penalty because they said it was a 10-yard penalty personal foul. I'd never heard of a 10-yard personal foul. Is that a new rule?
I haven't heard that either.
I didn't see it in the rules.
Yeah, I think maybe they ended up marking off 15, but he did say 10, which doesn't make any sense. And the Lions come out, double wing formation. Carter's back into the game as they got some water in him, I guess. Massage that calf. Handoff goes to Dotson, and he breaks loose. He's still got his feet 30, 35, 40. Cuts inside at midfield and is dragged down from behind by number 5, Dwayne Salsa. First down, Lions in Weiss Wolf territory. 11 and a half minutes left in tonight's ball game.
And we knew eventually that wear and tear was going to open that up for him.
And that was it. And he was able to keep his balance and get a big gain out of it all the way to the Weiss 45-yard line.
Good vision on his run, too. He was able to get outside and make a couple moves and get upfield. Great job by Dotson.
He kept moving to the soft spot of the field. And, in fact, if the one defender didn't have an angle on him, he would have scored because he had to slow and try to cut back, which allowed the tackler, number 5, Salsa, to catch him. Under center is Carter, takes the snap. We've got a penalty pre-snap, or no, we have a timeout by Leander. Coach Smith didn't like something that he saw, and he calls a quick timeout. That's the Lions' second timeout of the half. Weiss still has all three of their timeouts. Lions on top, 20-3. We have 11:02 remaining. We'll wait out this timeout here. Again, want to mention doesn't quite look as full as it did earlier, but the Lions traveled pretty well the start of the game. The visiting stands were pretty packed, and give credit to the home team, the Weiss Wolves, in their excitement to get varsity football started here at the new high school. They loaded up their side as well. Lions able to be out in front of the Weiss Wolves to this point. 11:02 remaining. Still plenty of time. Anything can happen.
Yeah, right now with 11 minutes left and you're up by 20, you still want to execute.
Right.
You still want to get better. You want to have progress on your offense, on your blocking, on your running. So you still need to keep it up, and you still need to push yourself to go further. At this point, you don't want to give up knowing you're ahead by 20. Keep pushing, get some more scores.
Carter under center, takes the snap, hands off to Dotson, the fullback straight ahead. He drives his feet up to the 40 for a gain of 5 yards, 2nd down and 5. And that is the perfect play for this situation in this offense. Just grind it out, grind it out.
Looks like
one of the tackles is down.
One of the tackles are down.
Well, we can't spend too much time worrying about – that's actually a guard for the Lions. But we don't want to spend too much time on that. Most of the time in this time of year it is cramping. So looks like we're going to get a little bit of time here. The Lions and Weiss Wolves will get a breather. You can see that Wolf defense is really gassed right now. You see them over there bending over, grabbing their knees, grabbing their hips. This offense has shown that it can wear down at least the Weiss Wolf defense. And it looks like it could do that to just about any defense.
Yeah,
especially
well,
with the way the Lions
they've got
playing.
some good defenses they're going to be playing coming up this year with the new
Cedar Ridge,
the new district changes. They've got on their schedule, as you mentioned, coming up Pflugerville. Then they go pretty much straight into the district matchups. Stony Point they've got on the 14th of September, Cedar Ridge on the 21st, Hendrickson on the 28th of September. Then they go to Vista Ridge, Round Rock on the 12th of October, and then McNeil, the Thursday game you mentioned earlier, that's going to be televised. Then they have Westwood at home. Vandergrift is their last game, with them taking the bye week, the last week of the season, in hopes for a restful period before the playoffs.
Yeah, it's tough. It's going to be tough to make the playoffs in this district, as it has been in all of the districts the Lions have been in, really, in the last 10, 15 years. But the Lions, they're building on something here, and we'll see if they can continue that into, throughout this quarter and into next week, as they're getting ready to try to extend their winning streak to, as I keep saying, multiple games. Obviously, it's only 2, but that's still multiple, right?
Yeah. So. Well, we've seen right across the street the coach for Pflugerville change up his scheme and reverted back to the old.
Right. The handoff straight ahead to Dotson. The Wolves were able to, after that little rest period, gather enough energy to stop his momentum before he got much more than about 2.5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and about 3 for the Lions.
Yeah, how quickly they revert back to the old habit whenever they see signs of trouble.
Yeah.
You got to stick it out. Stick to the game plan.
And this is the kind of offense that you have to have patience with. It worked out really well for us tonight, but there will be games when they're hard to get those middle yards, and we got to keep pounding that rock. Carter keeps it going left. He's going to stay with it. There's a flag down in the backfield. Carter steps out of bounds around the 23. I don't like where that flag is thrown because that's typically a holding. Let's see what the referees say. The Lions had a first down on that play without that penalty. So they got the receiver, Leonard, grabbing a little bit of jersey, and that'll back up the Lions from the line of scrimmage. It'll stay 2nd down, though. It'll be 2nd and 13, though, instead of 2nd and 3, which is a little more difficult to convert in this offense. Third down and 12 for the Lions. 23-3 is your score, 9:57 left in the fourth period. Carter under center, double wing formations. Receivers are split a little. LaRue goes back to the left as a lead blocker. Carter follows, picks up about 3 yards on the left side. So it's going to be 3rd and long for Leander, about 3rd and 9. We have another cramp going on, and that's the attestation of the weather here. I mean, it's just brutally hot during the day, and because of that, and on a clear night like this, it takes a long time for that heat to dissipate. And so even though it's dark beyond this stadium, it's still 90-something degrees outside.
Yeah, on the field with all the rubber pellets that are in the ground, they really absorbs that heat and kind of has that thermal heat going on throughout the game. So those guys get the moisture sucked right out of them.
Yeah, and especially when you're on the line of scrimmage and you're leaning on a guy that weighs about 270, and he's all sweaty and gross too, and it just adds to it.
Yeah, and the other thing is you can practice all you want, but you don't get the game speed, you don't get the game contact, you don't get the mental, changes in the game that takes a toll on you. So it's easy to do that in practice. You can get all the water breaks you want, but once you get out on the field in a real game, it's a whole different level.
Contrary to when we played, water was a weakness.
They used to give us salt tablets. But yes, you're right, and I think that's also why you kind of see at times flashes of a pretty good team from the Weiss Wolves, but then at other times they're a step slow because they're not accustomed to varsity level play just yet. And I think you'll see positive things from this team in the coming years and maybe even this season.
Yeah, and they've got an uphill battle too. They've got to not only travel far, they've got to play Rouse, then they play Bastrop, Glen, Elgin, Cedar Creek, Eastview, Marble Falls, Brenham. So they're traveling to all different areas, and that takes a toll on you too over the course of the season.
But having a young team like they do, they can build on that, and it may take a season or a year or two, but hey, I think they'll be fine in the next couple of years.
4th down, Carter under center, takes the snap, fakes, drops back, throws deep down the right sideline to Sanchez. Oh, he got his hands on it, unable to maintain it through the catch, and the ball will go over on downs to the Weiss Wolves. Sanchez a little upset with himself. He had his hands on the ball, and he's a 6'3" receiver with hops, and that's why you throw it to him in that situation, because he can climb a ladder and go get it. Good defensive play by the Weiss Wolf secondary player. I didn't get his number.
Yeah, that was a good job by both players going for the ball, and it was an incomplete pass, but they both played well on that, the receiver and the defender, and it was an incomplete pass.
Good placement by Carter, too, on that pass. He put it where the defender couldn't get it. Wolves looking to pass on 1st down. They have a receiver down the field, pass behind him. And that's one of the times Jackson Sandlin didn't really make the play that you've seen him make. He had the receiver streaking down the left sideline. Whether he didn't quite have the arm or not, that was number 4, Stuart Miller, turning on the afterburners down the left sideline, and would have been a big play for the Wolves if Sandlin could have got him the ball, but he couldn't. 2nd down and 10 now. Pistol formation. Askew in the backfield. They hand to Askew going straight ahead. He's able to get a few yards. Nice run by Askew. He's tackled by Diego Costa, along with number 32 for the Lions, Kayvon Spence, who's had quite a ball game. 3rd down and short for the Weiss Wolves. They need 2. Pistol formation. Sandlin completes it for the 1st down up over midfield inside the line 45 to the 42.
Yeah, quick pass to number 15.
Number 15, Robinson on the catch. Tackle made by 7. Dimitri Drayton. 1st down for the Wolves. Sandlin throws it in the flats, incomplete.
Yeah, you got to give the head coach for the Weiss Wolves some credit, Thomas Altman. he comes from Conley High School. He was I believe the defensive coordinator over there. And, Hendrickson comes from some winning ways too, so he's very versed in winning.
So Sandlin in the pistol formation. Takes the snap, is looking to throw. He's got a receiver on the sideline right around the 30 who tiptoes, and that's number 4, Miller, with the reception. And the Wolves get a first down, and they continue this drive. 8:34 left in tonight's ballgame. Your score 23-3. Leander on top. Sandlin in a pistol formation with Askew. Takes a snap, hands off straight ahead to Askew. No, he fakes it and keeps it off the left side. He fooled me. He's able to pick up about 2-3 yards off the left side, stopped by number 58 of the Leander Lions, Dyron Dixon. Having a pretty good game as well, the sophomore linebacker.
Gain of 5 yards. Brings up second down and 5.
Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with the play of all the sophomores on the Leander team. They've really showed a lot of poise and a lot of maturity out there.
If they can keep that up and continue to grow, that's a bright future for the Lion defense. It really is. And the offense doesn't steal a couple of them. That happens from time to time.
Well, I think you definitely got to give credit to Coach Smith coming into this game, really preparing his team. All the coaches on that staff preparing this team. They really look crisp. It's been, they still have a big schedule ahead of them. They have, they're good scrimmage right now for them.
Just the one game.
Just the one game. So they've got to keep this fluid and show consistency, which they've lacked in the past.
So it's second down and about 5-6 yards here. Pistol formation for the Wolves. Sandlin takes the snap, hands straight ahead. And Askew carries it up to the 20. Tackled by number 90, Connor Kracy. It's going to be a first down, though, for the Wolves. Ball's inside the 20 at the 18.
6 yards on the play and a first down.
Handoff goes straight ahead to Askew. Kracy again on the tackle.
Jaden Askew with a carry.
Askew's had a pretty good game so far. He's a pretty good running back.
He's a good back.
By Connor Kracy, number 90.
Second down and about 6. Sandlin, pistol formation, takes a snap, fakes to Askew. Askew picks up a block, pass complete over around the 7-yard line.
Flag down on the 17-yard line.
15, Joseph Robinson.
Let's see what that call is. The Lions need a break
like
here.
It might be against the Lions.
The Wolves marching down the field here.
Another one on the other sideline, about the 11-yard line.
Yeah, there's 2 penalties. Just the one flag, 2. Okay.
First down.
Yeah, so there were just 2 flags for the one penalty. Kayvon Spence called for offsides. First and goal for the Wolves. They have the ball at the 5.
Makes it first down and goal from the 5-yard line.
Sandlin, the quarterback, in a pistol formation with Askew. Ball's on the ground. It gets through Sandlin's hand. He picks it up. And the Lions swarm on him. Getting up off the bottom of that pile is number 90, Kracy, and number 10 that's Henry Birmingham.
Yeah, I think one of the first people there was Egglesey, number 16. He came up strong. About 3 or 4 Lions came up strong on that play.
They closed on the ball quickly. You know, Coach Ramsey loves that. Coach Smith had tweeted out after the scrimmage an example where 11 Lions were on the ball on a run play, and you see they're emphasizing continue to the ball until the whistle, and you see that hustle, and it's paid off for the Leander's defense tonight as they've been able to keep the a pretty good quarterback with decent enough receivers, a good running back, fairly good offensive line, been able to keep them out of the end zone.
We have seen a lot of energy on the Leander side, which has been great on offense and defense. It's good to see that the first game. You never know what you're going to get when you come out here. We know that they were playing Weiss, kind of a younger team, first-year varsity, don't really have any seniors. But the Leander side has shown a lot of promise so far, both on offense and defense, and that's a great start to this year.
But if you look at the Lion roster, There's not a ton of seniors on it either.
No,
They
not.
had a big class leave last year. You know, the balance that they've showed throughout this game has been great to see, which brings all the hype on the sidelines. Everybody's energized still. Everybody still has water in their system. You know, it's been really impressive to watch these guys go out and have fun. That's something that this team has missed. They get to leave today, with their head held high.
And it hasn't been
Still far from over.
Sure, and it hasn't been such an impressive display that they can feel overly good about themselves and not work as a result. There's still a ton of work for Leander to put in. The coaching staff knows that. I'm sure they're pleased. We've noticed the coaches for the Lions here in the press box have remained relatively calm throughout this game, which is not a typical response from the coach's press box. So that means that they're pleased. But there's still a long way to go, and I believe they truly know that. And I think that is known as well by the players, although the coaches have to continue to communicate that on a day-to-day basis, drill-to-drill basis. So.
Yeah, they've got something solid to build on, and that's foundation is what you always want to start off with, and that's something they've created here today.
And we'll really get a good chance to look at the improvement and how this offense really functions against the Pflugerville Panthers next week at Bible, because though the Pflugerville Panthers did drop to 5A as a result of this and other schools.
They're very big 5A.
Yeah, and they're definitely going to be favored in the matchup against the Lions, but they are a team the Lions can beat.
Yeah, they've had good success playing them, in the past years, getting close to beating them, with the exception of last year.
Well, we traded a couple of years in a row.
Last year it was 30-17, so they lost the game by 17 points. But prior to that, I believe the score was 28-20, and it was within a touchdown or two on the year before that.
Yeah, and it's
a pretty close game.
And a lot of times depends on where the game is. The Lions typically win in Bible, and the Panthers typically win at Kumple, as we sweated in that box. But next year when we do the Pflugerville game, it'll be in this nice press box here at the Field. 23-3, 6:41 remaining. Sandlin, shotgun formation, or is there a new quarterback?
Sandlin's out. Yeah, he's.
Yeah, it looks like number 2 is in for quarterback right now.
That's Tavion Cord at quarterback. He has in the backfield with him Jaden Askew, the running back. Pistol formation. Second down and goal. Ball's on the 15. Quarterback has to tuck it and run, and he's swarmed under.
Ball's out.
Ball's on the ground. Lions have it, I believe. 7 with the ball.
Yeah, I think the fumble was caused by number 10. Henry Birmingham came up after a couple other hits on the quarterback and was able to get the ball up, but they are going to call him down. But nice play by the Leander defense all the way around.
So Birmingham there with the tackle. Looked like Drayton might have gotten the fumble, but he doesn't. It's going to be 3rd and goal now, ball on the 18.
Yeah, Cord wasn't ready for that pressure.
Yeah, welcome to varsity ball. Cord in a shotgun. Ball gets by him. He's able to get it on the bounce. Rolls to his left, flips it out. Receiver was open, but it gets over his head, incomplete. Wouldn't have been much of a gain, if any. It's going to bring up 4th down and 18, and we'll see. Do the Wolves just attempt another throw to the end zone here? They're going to try to kick a field goal and make it a 6-point total for themselves.
You mentioned the heat. Looked like he got a little cramp. When you're sitting on the sidelines the whole game, standing there, you're not warmed up, and you get in there and can get a cramp also.
Well, he probably wasn't expecting to play. It's 4th down. Cord in at quarterback. Pistol formation, takes the snap, drops back. Got pressure. Interception by Leander at the 3. That's number 4 at the 20. He's at the 30. That's number 2, with the interception.
2 flags.
A.J. Nelson. And it's either going to be illegal blocks or a face mask there, but Nelson certainly with the turnover, and the Lions turn the Wolves away on the scoring opportunity, regardless of what the flags are for.
Looks like a late hit.
Number 10 blocking in the back on Leander. It'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, Leander.
So they just back them up from where Birmingham got an illegal block, and they'll have first down with 5:45 remaining in tonight's game. And really, you want to just see the Lions grind it out here and just eat up the clock. If you end up with points, great. If you don't, fine. You come out with a W to open the season and a 2-game winning streak, adding last season's win. That's the one positive thing about not making the playoffs. You can end the season easily with a win.
Yeah, that block in the back there was unfortunate. He saw the guy in the lane and he wanted to take that block, but his shoulders were turned just enough where he was on the backside of that shoulder, and that resulted in the penalty.
And I'm sure that he'll be coached about that. In a different situation, that's a really costly penalty. Not quite as so here, 23-3 lead. Carter keeps it. Moves up the middle, right off a right guard, carries up to around the 15 for a gain of 5.
Yeah, once you see that on film the next day, you'll be mindful of
another player down tired.
Yeah, the heat's starting to take its toll right now.
Especially them big boys up front. It's tough. And it's the same thing. The Lions, that'll be the thing they preach all week long. Looks like the clock's going to keep running despite the injury. Oh, it looks like they stopped it there. I thought maybe they had decided to just wind it. 5:17 is what's on the clock. 23-3 is the score. Lions looking to close this out, open the season with the W. Looking at Pflugerville next week, the Booster Club would like to thank its sponsors again, if I can find them once again. I'm going to have to do a better job of having them readily available, but they include Bush's.
First game.
Yeah, Wingstop, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. We've got the McCoy Agency with Farmers Insurance. We have James Henderson with American Pacific Mortgage, Allstate, Amy Maddox, Earl and Janice Lott, along with Mighty Fine, and Stephanie Biggs with Blue Door Realty Group, and, of course, our friend Randy Hoff with Lexus of Austin. Thank you for sponsoring Leander Lions football.
Well, we've got a couple local scores. There's a couple other games playing today. We've got Smithville over Eastside Memorial High School, 55-0. They're in the third quarter with 9:50 left. Anderson over McCallum High School, 20-7 in the third quarter.
Really? McCallum was a deep playoff team. That's 5A versus 6A, though.
Yeah, and that's about it.
So far with stats, if you want to look at the total offense, we have 45 plays for Leander. They have about 427 yards of offense, averaging about 9.5 per play. 43 rushing attempts, about 8 yards per carry, and the leading rusher right now is Xavier Dotson, has 24 for about 152. LaRue has 5 for 93. Carter has about 65, and Mcdaniel has about 26.
Well, here's something to mention. Coach Smith, as he's been head coach here, he leads the Leander Lions with 482 all-purpose yards per game. And, we know naturally most of that has been through the air, unlike this game, which has all been on the ground.
Yeah, that Anderson-McCallum game being carried by SHN Sports. It's the Taco Shack Bowl. If you go to shnsports.com, you can see the end of that game. Other games on the SHN Sports Network besides this Lion-Weiss game, Westwood plays Eastview tomorrow evening, along with Georgetown versus Wiley. Whitney takes on Jarrell on SHN Sports, and then on Saturday we have some Division III college football as Denison visits Georgetown to take on Southwestern University in their first game of the season. So stay tuned to shnsports.com for all football needs related to high school and little Division III college ball as well. Carter under center, double wing, takes the snap, hands off straight ahead to Dotson. He carries some tacklers about 5 yards, maybe 6. They're going to mark it at the 28-yard line, so it's going to be a 7-yard gain It's going to be 2nd and 3. Nice gain. There's a flag down, though.
Rumor has it you might be out there at that game?
Yeah, I will be at the Southwestern game on the sideline doing a little sideline reporting for SHN. It should be fun. It's been a while. I haven't been on the sideline of a game since the Lions went down and took on Dripping Springs a couple of seasons ago.
I remember that.
And they
that was
didn't
fun.
have any room in the press box for our broadcast, so they let us on the field to just hang out.
The option was the stands, I believe. Go broadcast in the stands, and it was raining that day.
Coach Smith let us down on the field. We had a flag before the snap. Lions delay a game called against Carter, and that's all right. That's the kind of stuff you can work out.
Yeah, the mental mistakes and the mental errors that they've made today, those are fixable.
It's 2nd down and 8 now instead of 2nd down and 3. Carter, we've got a bit of an I formation, wing to the left, handoff straight ahead to Dotson, and he picks up about 4 of those 5 yards back. So it's going to be 3rd down. Ball's going to be marked around the 27-yard line. So he's about a yard shy of where it was. He picks up 3rd and 4 now. Easily a convertible down and distance for the Lions here to keep the drive alive. Now, of course, Weiss trying to get the ball back so they can work on their offense some more before they head into district play. Double wing formation, Carter under center. Number 35 in motion, that's Matthew Mcdaniel. Carter keeps. He's only able to pick up about a yard on the left side.
Yeah, I'm thinking
4th down.
I'm thinking at this time probably need to take number 5 out.
Well, there's other quarterbacks on the line roster. They're just not suited out to play tonight. So part of the reason why you see Addison LaRue taking some snaps there in the first half is for that reason. And so Lions a little limited in that position. Carter toughing it out, though, 4th and short.
Going for it here, see if they can keep the clock running and run the game out.
Try to draw him offside. Carter looking to throw. Pass complete to Sanchez. He cuts up at the 40, and he's tackled. There's a flag right around the 40 of the Lions, and so that's got to be some kind of pass interference against the defense. It's beyond 5 yards, so let's see what the call is. Great play by Ishmael Sanchez on the reception. It was there earlier. He dropped it. He got that one.
Yeah.
Called pass interference on number 13 of Leander, Connor Kessler. Ball wasn't going his way. Maybe it was a pickoff or something, but, Sanchez had a defender on him, so it certainly wasn't that defender that got picked off. And we'll see now if Coach brings out the punting unit, and he does.
Yeah, I didn't see it on the replay.
Yeah, it's early for the referees, too. I'll just leave it at that. Early in the season for everybody. 4th down and 3 it's not 4th and 3, it's 4th and 13 now. And Leander brings out the punting unit. Gaiman to punt. Diego Costa, the senior nose tackle, the deep snapper for Leander. Lions still bringing out the punting unit here and they get ready. Gaiman has the snap. Nice punt. Kind of fades a little bit. Takes a line bounce at the 45. Rolls out of bounds at the line 48, where it'll be 1st down for the Weiss Wolves with 2:18 remaining in tonight's game. Want to apologize if you tried to watch tonight's game and you noticed the video was a little choppy. That's the laptop we have here is a little old, and we're trying to work with it and get it up to speed.
I think there's a little issue with bandwidth as well, so we're working with that early in the season. Stay with us.
It's early for us as well, so just like we'll give the referees a pass, we'll give ourselves a pass as well. 1st down for the Wolves. Looks like Cord remains the quarterback, takes the snap. Pass would have been complete, broken up by Evan Smith, though. You hope that Sandlin's not hurt for the Weiss Wolves, as he is one of their primary weapons, but they're getting some quality work for their backup, Tavian Cord, now at quarterback.
Yeah, his last play, he got hit pretty good, so he's a little shook up, I'm sure.
Pistol formation. Cord takes it, hands to Askew straight ahead, tackled first initially hit by Diego Costa. Kracy got his ankles, but it looks like he's going to be cleaned up by 44, Evan Smith, and number 10, Henry Birmingham. And Wakama in as well. 3rd and 7. Cord takes the snap, looking to throw, tucks it, gets by the defender, slides, short of the first down, right around the 42 of the lines is where they'll mark it. It's going to be 4th down now and about 4.
Run the ball down to the 42-yard line, gain of 3.
131 and counting here. Cord in his shotgun formation, Askew right beside him. Cord takes the snap, rolls to his left, turns his shoulders and fires it to the receiver, incomplete. And the Lions will take over on downs.
Stuart Miller.
It'll be Leander ball at the 42-yard line, their own 42 with 1:21. And, you don't want to get your quarterback hurt this late. I'd probably take some knees, although the Wolves have all 3 of their second-half timeouts, so they'll make it difficult. You may have to run a few plays here.
Yeah, that
might be the time to bring LaRue in, but nope, Carter's coming out. So the Lions come out with a double wing, as they've done for most of tonight's ball game. Carter under center. Takes a snap, hands off to Dotson straight ahead. He keeps grinding his feet and picks up about 2 yards.
Xavier Dotson, number 21, again, the ball carrier.
2nd down and about 8. We're at 1:10 and counting here in the ball game.
Line, a gain of 2. And on the stop, number 5.
Oh, it's amazing, these high school stadiums now with the jumbotrons and all the fun tools they have here.
We'll get to experience the new one at Bible against the Pflugerville Panthers next week. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be in the PA box with me, and I would get to play with it, but it's a couple of booths down, so they have a whole team that's going to work, it looks like. Handoff straight ahead to Dotson as the clock continues to wind for Leander. It looks like Altman's just going to let it wind out and leave those 3 timeouts on the board. 30 seconds and counting.
When you compare the stadium across the street to this one, this one being upwards of $26 million to build.
How old is
you get what you pay
though?
for.
I played in that stadium.
I did too, yeah.
And it was old when I played in it.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty old stadium.
It's from the 60s, I think.
Yeah. And it's kind of like when we went when we mentioned the Dripping Springs game from a few years back. When we went down there, they were a 5A school playing in a 3A facility, and they have a huge, nice facility now. Of course, we don't play them anymore. But the Lions are going to come out on top here in Week 1 and start the 2018 campaign 1-0. You want to mention some estimated stats, Mark?
Sure, my unofficial stats. Leander had 449 yards in offense. Weiss had about 138. Yards per play for Leander, 8.8, very impressive. Rushing attempts, 49, completely different than what we've seen in the past for the different offense, and they averaged a little over 7 yards per rush. Had about 91 yards receiving, probably a little more than that. The leading rusher was Dotson with 173 yards on 29 carries. He was a workhorse tonight up the middle. LaRue had 93 yards, the long touchdown as well. Carter had 66 on 10 carries, and Matthew Mcdaniel 5 for 26 and also had touchdown as well.
It's if you can see that kind of work from Dotson throughout the season and him remain relatively healthy, this offense is going to be something to deal with for whomever lines up against Leander.
Yeah, you got to stop him first in this offense. If you don't stop him, then you have Carter going to the outside, you have LaRue, you have Mcdaniel, you have some offensive weapons.
Right, if you can't stop him with your base defense, you've got to adjust, and that just opens up the outside and it opens up the passing attack. And we saw that tonight with Weiss. They were just a little overmatched. Leander, working in a new offense, looked pretty crisp, better than they have offensively in a couple of seasons, but it's a new offense, and so they're still learning this offense, and I think we'll see it improve as the season goes on. And essentially health is going to be key for the Lions. We saw some key depth show up and play tonight, defensively especially for Leander.
We did. We saw some good plays by the cornerbacks, some younger ones as well. But going back to the offense, it was pretty basic offense with the modified veer. And once they get that under control, they understand what they're doing. You're going to see more counters. You're going to see a few play-action passes, some more passing, and get some other people involved in the offense. But overall, for the start tonight, with the new offense and everyone learning it, I thought they did a great job.
Very impressive.
I think the new offense has changed the whole dynamics of this team. Defensively, offensively, they've got a lot more to offer, and it's something which you saw with Weiss. Leander has been on the flip side of this, where they've been the ones suffering on defenses late in the game.
Grabbing their hips.
Their offense starts making mental mistakes because they don't have any rhythm, any continuity. They weren't able to pick up first downs. This has been a completely night and day of that, where the defense had plenty of life in them. As you mentioned, getting the depth in, keeping the legs fresh. You have that opportunity to do that, and they haven't been able to do that in the past due to the fact that they needed their best guys out in the field to get the play and get the ball back for their offense, and it just changed the whole dynamics of the team.
It really has, and we've kind of talked about this personally to one another that based on our numbers, this is really the best offense that we can run, and we looked pretty good tonight. We'll see next week against Pflugerville. Of all of the teams on our schedule, the Pflugerville Panthers will be the most accustomed to facing this kind of offense.
Much the same.
And so we'll see how effectively we execute when a defense is a little bit more prepared to defend the offense we bring to them. But
just add about 15 pounds to everybody on this field, and that's what they're going to be going up against on an average.
and on the D-line, about 8 inches per in height. But stay tuned. Listen to SHN Sports this weekend for other high school, college sports.
Do we have any news on the podcast?
Not official and not definite. We're trying for Monday night, but until you see an email or a tweet, it's right now we don't have anything officially scheduled. So tune in for sure on Friday of next week at 7 o'clock as the Lions take on the Pflugerville Panthers here on SHN Sports. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Good night.